I'm Caleb from Caleb's Aviation. Welcome back to another episode of Aviation News. There's a lot to cover today, so let's get started. First thing of today's news, Boeing Supersonic announced earlier last month that their XB-1 test supersonic demonstrator aircraft, boy that's a mouthful, has taken its final test flight. For those who don't know, the XB-1 is a prototype developed by Boeing to test the viability of supersonic flight before their larger jet for commercial service called the Overture is built and begins her flight testing. Boeing needed proof of concept, which was the point of the XB-1, and it seems she's accomplished her mission, and the Overture will be being built pretty soon. The Overture is designed to be the modern replacement for Concorde, bringing supersonic flight back to passenger airlines, and this news is certainly exciting. Moving along, we have some more sad news. An F-35 fighter jet has crashed outside a military base in Alaska. As seen in this footage here, the aircraft was performing routine maneuvers for a training exercise when it entered a flat spin, lost altitude, and stalled. The stall resulted in the crash. Luckily, the pilot survived this accident somehow and was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. However, sadly, an F-35 was completely destroyed in this training exercise. Next up, we have some more news. This news takes us to Brazil, where a GOL Airlines 737 MAX collided with a truck on takeoff. This accident is certainly unusual, and the truck was clearly in the wrong place, according to preliminary crash reports. The 737 MAX was cleared for takeoff on its runway, and collided with the truck as a complete accident. Luckily, everyone on board the 737 made it out of this scare. However, the aircraft sustained major damage, and the truck was also destroyed. Talking collisions, there was also a small ground collision that occurred at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, between a Japan Airlines Boeing 787 and a Delta Airlines 737. Luckily, no one was hurt in this incident. However, the Delta 737's tail sustained major damage, as did the right wing on the 787. Both flights were subsequently cancelled, and all the Japan Airlines passengers got off of the aircraft and rebooked later that afternoon. It also helps matters that the Delta 737 was empty, having just come in from a prior flight, and not yet ready to depart full of passengers, or things could have been much worse. Additionally, a U.S. military King Air crashed earlier last month. The King Air was contracted by the U.S. military to carry defense personnel, and it crashed in the Philippines, just outside of an airbase in Manila. Unfortunately, this tragic accident would kill all the occupants on board, including both pilots and 4 military personnel. The cause of this crash, although highly speculated, is not yet fully public in what actually happened. Additionally, being that it was contracted by the US military, it's likely we will never get the entire report, due to secrecy and privacy concerns. Earlier last week, 2 planes have collided outside of Marana, Arizona, outside of Tucson, between Tucson and Phoenix for reference. For those who didn't know, Marana, Arizona is commonly used, Marana Air Park that is, to scrap old airliners like 747s and 767s. I've actually visited Marana Air Park, which is the main reason I wanted to make this short little thing about this accident. Unfortunately, this accident would kill 2 people in one of the aircraft, which was completely destroyed, with the other sustaining major damage. Continuing with our news, we find ourselves in Newark, New Jersey, where earlier this week, a FedEx Boeing 767 freighter taking off from Newark bound for Indiana had a bird strike. The bird strike subsequently caused the engine to flame out, shooting flames, which is what's seen in the footage here. However, I wanted to clarify that this is relatively safe. Even when birds strike an engine, there are procedures and plans in place to keep things safe. Additionally, the aircraft safely diverted back to Newark Airport. The engine was then inspected, and subsequent FAA investigations are underway. Next item of news, ANA has ordered 15 Embraer E190-E2 aircraft. This news is very exciting, as the E2 program has not sold particularly well in recent years. However, a major customer like ANA ordering 15 of the type is definitely good news for the program. The Brazilian jetmaker Embraer was very happy to have a large order for the E2. Also, this new order also includes commitments to expand their fleet of Airbus A321neos, order A321XLRs for their low-cost subsidiary Peach, and expand their order for 737 MAXs from Boeing. They have also committed to order more Boeing 787-9 Dreamliners, which is not unexpected given ANA's love of the 787. In total, this order means that 77 aircraft from Airbus, Boeing, and now Embraer will join the ANA fleet. This large order is worth about $14 billion and is ANA's largest ever order, so that's exciting. Moving on to South Korea, there has been a terrible accident, as a Korean fighter jet has accidentally dropped bombs on its own home city. This accident is tragic, and the Korean government have grounded all F-16 fighter jets for further inspections and investigations that will need to occur. Unfortunately, several people died as a result of this tragedy. Finally, the largest piece of news for quite a long time, a private company based in Texas have successfully landed on the moon. This news is very exciting, and it seems quite fitting that this spacecraft comes from Texas, given Texas's rich history in space exploration. Unfortunately, news this morning says the spacecraft is damaged and will likely never return from the moon. This is the first moon landing since 1969, and it's very exciting, as private companies aim to do something NASA apparently can't do, land on the moon. However, the spacecraft was developed in partnership with NASA, so I guess they get a little credit. Well, that's all the news I have for you. I hope you've enjoyed this update. I know we've covered a lot and very fast, so I apologize. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Lots more content coming out very soon. And until next time, you know the drill. I'll be wishing you blue skies and tailwinds.